afternoon, ladies. My name is Miss Montiel, and thank you for coming today. So today, I'm doing a school project, kind of. I'm attempting to get my teacher credential, which means that I have to teach a lesson and record myself doing it. All of you guys are here on your free time, and I really appreciate it, because I'm pretty sure you guys could probably be doing other things right now. So today's lesson is going to be about reading comprehension. We're going to be reading two stories. The first story I'm going to be reading to you, we're going to discuss it. The second story you're going to read on your own and detail on a flow map what the story was about. And so that way it'll help you practice reading and retelling the story. And then we're also going to predict what we think might happen in the future, because we don't know what happens after the end of whatever an author has written, right? So really quickly, just some rules. Make sure that if you have a question or if you have a comment, what are we going to do? We're going to raise our hands, okay? And wait till I call on you. We're also going to give everybody a chance to share. If we feel that we need to, we'll write some stuff down together as we discuss what we're doing, okay? So first of all, have any of you had to retell a story? Okay. And Natalie, when you retold that story, do you think that you told everything exactly the way it was told to you? No. What about you? No? No. If there's a specific tool or something, do you think it would have been helpful if you would have had a tool to help you remember some of those things? Yeah, right? So that's essentially what a flow map is going to do. We're going to be able to write down certain details. I'm also going to give you highlighters so that way you guys can, write some things down. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to hand you guys a copy of the story. I'm going to read to you out loud. And then we're going to go ahead and do the flow map together. Okay? And then your copies are front and back. So once we finish with the first page, go ahead and flip it over. You're welcome. And you're welcome. And we will go from there. Any questions so far? All right, great. So this story is titled First Day. Here we go again. I thought, the first day of 4th grade. I always got a little nervous on the first day of school. I knew a lot of the other kids who would be in my class, and I had heard that the teacher was nice. There would still be a lot of new things though. We would have new rules and new routines. We would have new information to learn in all of the subject areas. There would also be some new things that I wouldn't expect, like maybe they moved the grade levels to different hallways. It was exciting too, but that didn't mean I wasn't anxious. Does anybody know what anxious means? Natalie? We lined up outside, and for the first week, the teachers held up signs with their names on them to help us find the right spot to line up. I knew where the 4th graders lined up and quickly spotted the name Mrs. Richardson on one of the signs. She would be my new teacher for the year. As I got in line, I said hello to the friends I had seen all summer. Miss Richardson walked down the line introducing herself to the new students. She stuck out her hand and said, "Hi, I'm Mrs. Richardson. What's your name?" "Allison," I answered, and shook her hand. "It's nice to meet you, Allison. How was your summer?" "It was good. I got to go to the pool a lot," I said. "That's great, Allison. Thanks for speaking in complete sentences. That shows me that your writing is probably very nice," complimented Mrs. Richardson before she moved on to the next student. It felt great to be complimented by my new teacher. As we entered the classroom, Mrs. Richardson showed us where to put our supplies. Then we gathered on the carpet. Our class needs to work together very closely in order to complete the many exciting projects we're going to do this year. You'll be working with each other frequently, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page. I want to know what is important to you, what you value in your classroom, teacher, classmates, and yourself. Please take a minute and think to yourself about your values. We all sat quietly. Then Ms. Richardson gave us a partner and asked us to introduce ourselves to each other, and asked us to share our thoughts with each other. The ideas my partner and I came up with were respect, honesty, working together, and fairness. After sharing with our partner, Ms. Richardson asked two pairs to work together to decide on 3 values and write them down. Our group chose respect, cooperation, fairness, and fairness. When the groups were done, each group had a chance to present their ideas, and we voted on which 3 we would use as our classroom values. I liked how we worked together to choose the values that would guide our classroom. Okay. What did you guys think of that story? You liked it? You liked it? What did you like about it? Natalie? How they're working together? But, okay, so let's see. How many of you have ever had a first day of school? Oh, okay. So, we've all had a first day of school, right? So where, we have you ever felt nervous on your first day of school? What? Okay. Why haven't you felt nervous?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, well, that happens sometimes. Some people just are nervous to do certain things, and that's okay too. Okay. So did you guys feel you guys could relate to this story a little bit? A little bit? In which way? Yes.
Like when he was nervous on his first day, when she was nervous on his first,
It's okay.
She was nervous on her first day of school. Every year I'm nervous.
You're nervous. Okay. Anybody? Yes.
I always had to wear clothes in pairs.
Oh yeah, and pairs definitely for sure. All right. So go ahead and write your name at the top of your paper. And then let's quickly discuss, or let's kind of go over what a flow map is. What does a flow map do? John?
Tell us from the beginning to the middle and to the end.
Okay, so it's a graphic organizer, right? So it helps you organize your story or your thoughts. Yes, 100% your thoughts. So I put this one up here, but if I write on this one, you guys probably wouldn't be able to see it. I'm gonna go ahead and move it up here. We're gonna use this one for the flow map, okay? So I'm not gonna do boxes, I'm just gonna write, and we're gonna do this one together, okay? So I'm gonna put a number 1 here. If you guys wanna number the first box. The top is number 1. We can go ahead and, so let's ask ourselves a general question. Who is this story about and what is it about?
Allison's first day of school.
Okay, so Allison's first day of school. So Allison has her first day of school. Can somebody tell me something else about the story? Maybe what you think the second part of the story is?
She was nervous.
She was nervous. She was nervous. Let's see, let's go into the third part. What helped her calm down? What do you think helped her calm down? Meeting her new teacher in line. So Allison met her new teacher in line. in 9. And we can add, and she spoke to her, right? She spoke to her new teacher. About what? Mia, what did she speak to her teacher about?
We talked about
Hold on. Yeah, but she also talked to her teacher about what?
what we did this summer.
What she did this summer, right? So about her summer. Okay, so I know yours doesn't have the little arrow, but if you wanna add it, you're more than welcome to. Okay. So then she met her new teacher in line, she talked about her summer, correct? Okay. I'll give you guys a chance to write that down. Start to think about the next part. Start thinking of that. Just kind of have an idea of what you think happened next. And then you can share with me what you think. Start thinking about the next part of the story. What do you think happened? Which was the next important part of the story, or the, so a point that you would have to remember in order for you to retell the story completely. Yes?
Can I have the story?
Yeah. Go ahead. It's okay to go ahead and revisit the story if you need to. Sometimes we need that extra reminder. There's no right or wrong answer. Just so you know. Does anybody want to share? Or actually, John, what did you write on the next slide?
Well, I think it's food rather than saying Richardson complimented Allison that it shows the teacher that she's gonna have nice writing.
So Mrs. Richardson. That's an N. Lamented Allison. And how did that make Allison feel? Compliment Allison. So what happened after they went inside? Remember?
The teacher put the kids into pairs.
Teacher. With the students. into pairs. And what were they supposed to do in these pairs? Yes.
Talk about their values.
Talk about their values. Talk about their values. And then at the end, what were they talking about their values for? What were they trying to get to? Yes.
Class values.
To get their class values, right? So that way they would set the tone for what? The entire school year. So then the students chose the class values, right? All together. So the last question I'm gonna ask you guys for this part that we're working together for, based on the story, or find a part in the story, and tell me what you think happened the rest of the school year. Do you think Allison was still anxious? Do you think Allison was still nervous? Natalie.
I think Allison had a good time.
Okay, and why do you think that? What part of the story makes you believe that?
She said, I liked how we worked together to choose the values that would guide our class.
Yeah, very good. And I think that's true. Does everybody agree? Or does anybody think she had a bad school year? You agree? You agree? Yes. Okay. So we think Allison had a good or great year?
Great.
A great year. Great school year. So you guys kind of have an understanding, right, of what a flow map is and what we use it for, right? So I'm gonna hand out the second story. It's a little longer than the first. And if you guys want, would you guys like to use highlighters?
Yeah.
Okay. They're all yellow. This one is called Emma's Favorite Restaurant. First page is front and back, and then the second page, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's just one-sided. There you go. I will collect the other ones in just a moment. Put your flow map and your stories together. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. So you can go ahead and start reading the second story once you're ready. And highlight the important parts that you think are in the story. And I'll actually hand out your flow map so you guys can fill it out as you read it, okay? So just 6 points that tell the story. You're welcome. If you have any questions, or if you have any, if you need any clarification as to what a word means, please ask. Let's see. Go to the restroom. Make sure you do the lock.
Do we have to, the things we highlighted, do you have to copy it exactly to
Nope.
do it?
You can paraphrase. You can write it the way you. As soon as Mia comes back, we'll start discussing what we have so far. Okay. Yes.
The box is big enough, so can I do it underneath?
It's fine. Or you can just move to the next one. It's okay if you move to the next one. You can just go to the next one. That's okay. It's just a flow map, so whatever order, and if you have to move to the next one, that's fine too. And maybe write down your next like 2 or 3 sentences or thoughts, and we're gonna go ahead and go over it together. So maybe we can kind of see, maybe if there's one point that we missed that maybe somebody else thought that makes too. You ready? Here, are you ready? Just finish that last box now. I know you have a lot of good points. Okay. So, there's 6 boxes, and there's 6 of us. So we can just go see. We can just jump in. So who wants to go, let's say, the first part, the first box? What do you have in your first box? I don't know.
Emma's family goes to dinner once a week at their favorite Italian restaurant.
Good. So then what happens next?
Emma's father wants to move to a new restaurant, but Emma and her brother do not.
Okay, so Emma and her brother don't want to try this new restaurant, right? Okay. How about you, Mina? What do you have on the third?
The second one is kind of like the third one, but I put like Emma and Josh don't want to go to the new restaurant.
Okay, so they don't want to go to the new restaurant. What happens after? They're complaining and they don't want to go. What happens next?
They end up
Okay, good. They end up going. Well, where do they go? To a. Do you know what kind of restaurant they go to? You can go ahead and look. Yes. That's what they normally go to, but what's the new restaurant they're trying? Starts with an L.
I don't know if I'm gonna say it right,
Okay.
but I think it's
Lebanese, yeah, it's a Lebanese restaurant. Has anybody ever had Lebanese food? You probably. Okay, good. So they end up going to a Lebanese restaurant. And what happens when they get to the Lebanese restaurant? Aaliyah? They think that they're not going to like it. Are the people at the Lebanese restaurant mean? Are they nice? They're nice. They're nice. Okay. So then they get seated, right? And then they order food. How do they order their food? What does the server do? The server gives them.
his favorite.
Yeah. What were you gonna say? So he tells them what he likes the best, correct? So then they order food, right? And I don't know if you noticed, but it says Emma ordered Montiel dumplings filled with spicy lamb, covered in tomato sauce. Does that sound good? No? I mean, I think it sounds pretty good. Okay, and then her brother ordered kibbeh, which is meatballs, right? So, what happens after they eat? What does Emma tell her mom? Well, let's give somebody else a chance. What does Emma tell her mom?
That she likes it.
Yeah, and that she tells her mom what? Yeah, maybe they can go to the place again. And then what does Josh suggest? Maybe they can switch back and forth every week because now they feel that they have how many favorite restaurants? 2 favorite restaurants, right? 2 favorite restaurants. And then, what does Emma say at the end, Mian? At the end, the last one. What does she want to try after? A Thai restaurant. So, based on the story and what you read, what do you think is going to happen in the future?
Yeah, they're going to try new restaurants and they're going to probably like it.
They're probably gonna like it. Okay, guys, so go ahead and put your stuff together. That was it. That was all I had for you.